Hey everyone, it's Nathan with Crown & Caliber, and today I am answering questions. And I'm answering questions that you guys have asked, whether it was in YouTube comments or from some of our other social channels. We basically went through and pulled together a lot of questions that have been reoccurring, or other ones that we felt interesting or that we've heard often. So what we're gonna do is, my good friend and colleague Jonathan is sitting behind the camera.
Hello, friends.
There you go. And he has this list of questions. I've seen some of the questions, but he's gonna go through and kind of just fire them off. And we're gonna have a conversation and hopefully answer some of the questions that you guys have been asking. So, you ready, man?
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Here we go. Here's something that's not Rolex oriented. Which Panerai do you recommend as a first entry into the brand?
Ooh, which Panerai?
The good news is there's only two options. The bad news is we know there's not only two.
Yeah. So I think that the best entry-level Panerai is the Radiomir. And I would say the Radiomir 1940. Now here's why.
Is that the wire lugs?
No, so this is what I'm getting to. Yeah, here's exactly why.
Patience,
So,
Jonathan.
you're either looking at a Luminor or a Radiomir. And I think most people would associate the Luminor and its crazy crown guard protector as like the iconic Panerai. And I'm gonna say, hey, you know what? I recommend the Radiomir. And here's why. And the 1940 is because if you go with the 1940, you get a more traditional crown, screw down crown. You get normal lugs. So a normal Radiomir has the wire lugs, but the 1940 has traditional lugs.
They're kind of like Diet Luminor lugs.
Yeah, they're kind of like Diet Luminor lugs. They kind of look like the Luminor. And I think most importantly, the Radiomir 1940 is like the OG Panerai. And so, I mean, that's why it's the 1940. The Luminor is the 1950. The OG Panerai is the Radiomir. And so getting that 1940 for me is something that I think also works for multiple wrist sizes because it's maybe a little less out of control. But it's just more of that classic Panerai look. I love it, and I think it is something that kind of speaks to the true history of Panerai. It's just a great piece. I love those.
Nice, good answer. All right, here's one.
All right.
I wonder if we have an answer for it. What are your favorite straps?
Oh, I have many answers for this. Favorite straps. Oh boy. I'm gonna have to put just a slew of links in the description for all these different things we're going through.
You hear that? A slew.
A slew. All right, so let's start at the top. Leather straps. I think JPM is a solid strap maker. Funny enough, a lot of brands use their straps. So you can get them through people like Hodinkee, through sites like Watch Obsession, Boulong & Sons. A lot of those leather straps are JPM. Plenty of options to choose from, whether or not they're shell cordovan, leather, lined, unlined, just tons of leather straps. So JPM, if you want to take it up a notch, I think Camille Fournet is definitely like a heavy hitter. Camille Fournet white labels for the likes of JLC, Patek. So those are like, if you want to drop some coin on a really nice leather strap, alligator strap, crazy other leathers, then Camille Fournet is the way to go. They are French and make some amazing straps. Let's see, other options. If you want to go more of like the NATO route, we'll cover, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, we've done leather, I'm gonna do NATO, and I will also do kind of an oddball. So if we're gonna go NATO, two options. I love Maritac. No nonsense, $15, $20 NATO straps. They kind of predate what I like to call the fancy NATO, which we're gonna get to. But Maritac, they're awesome, they're cheap. You can get a couple of them and just beat the crap out of them. If you wanna go ahead and drop some money on a NATO strap, I think Phenomenato. I've got a couple of them, they're great. It's kind of that fancy NATO, you know, you're now 2-3 times as much, so you're $40, $50 for a NATO strap, but it's that like seatbelt NATO weave.
I have a couple. They are real nice.
Yeah, they're really nice. They're awesome.
Worth it.
Phenomenatos are great. So, lastly, curveball. Eulit. E-U-L-I-T. I'll definitely have to link to it. German manufacturer. They are one of the, I think maybe the original manufacturer of Perlon. And that's kind of become more popular in the past couple of years. And it's most notable for this kind of like woven pattern. But there's a distinction. So Perlon is actually a material like nylon, but they're different. And Perlon is a much, I think just like chemically a much more plasticky material. And so inherently to create a strap, they had to do this more open weave design. But what you have is you have a strap that does not retain water, will not stretch, or kind of deform over time. And they're usually really thin. So they're perfect for summer. And they've got a great vintage appeal. The reason I say go through Hewlett is Hewlett actually uses Perlon to make their Perlon style straps. And in recent years, that I think trademark or something kind of expired. So people could make straps that looked like Perlon had the weave, but they're just using nylon to do it. So you don't necessarily get the benefits of Perlon, but I absolutely love Hewlett straps. I even put them on a Datejust. Like, it's just a cool kind of vintagey looking summer strap. You can find them in cool colors, and it's just a cool looking weave that you're really not going to find somewhere else. But I think it's imperative that if you're going to do Perlon, go ahead and get something that's actually made from the original material Perlon, because you get the benefits of it. So those are super cool. So recap, you're going leather, go JPM. You want to break the bank, go Camille Fournet. You want to go kind of more of that nylon route, then I say you go either Maritac for a cheaper NATO or Phenomenato for a nice NATO. And kind of my curveball is Hewlett Perlon straps. Those are awesome. I'll definitely put links in the description for all this stuff. Tried and true, tested all these, wear them all the time. So one man's opinion, they're pretty solid.
All right, here we go. Might be a quick one, might be not. I know you. Sea Dweller or Submariner?
Submariner. No, wait. What's it for? No.
I mean, that's just what the question says.
Okay. Okay. I would say daily wear Submariner. And I would go as far to say, I would say a modern day 114060, no date Submariner. Daily wear, boom, done. That being said, my hesitation was, I think that the proportions on the newer Sea Dweller are better. But it's a 43 millimeter.
It's a little big.
It's big, so it's not for everyone. It's thick, it's just a monster. So I think proportionally that, but if I were to get one, I'm gonna wear it, I'd say no date Submariner, 114060. Yes, that's
the one.
That's it.
That is pretty good.
It's what Steve McQueen would be wearing. Would be wearing.
Yeah, I think so. I buy the logic. All right. Next question. Rolex again. Best way to clean a watch, specifically a Datejust / with a Jubilee bracelet.
That's a good question. Man, the amount of, you'll see watches that have been worn for a while and not clean. And there's an affectionate term called wrist cheese.
Oh God.
And it's like the amount of stuff.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's like the amount of stuff that collects. You'll often see it in like hollow end links, or often in Jubilee bracelets. And it's just like,
I mean, it's just dirt and sweat.
Dirt,
and grime.
sweat, skin over years of people not cleaning their bracelets. So
I think you'd be. I'm surprised how often or
Yeah.
how quickly it builds up. So like, my Rolex. Ugh, I didn't like the way that sounded. But my watch has an oyster bracelet, and I've had it for actually almost coming up on a year now. A little less than, so 10 months or so, and it like in between the links and all that, I can see it building up, and it doesn't look great. It's not dirty. It's not awful, but looking at it, it looks like I've worn it harder than I have. So you would be surprised at how easily and how quickly that sort of thing can build up.
I would say, the question is, how do you clean? We have a video on it. I'll link to that video. This description's gonna be massive.
SEO.
Yeah. But I would say, I think for me, I clean it probably every 6 months. And usually that's probably when I'm making like a big, like I may take the bracelet off in the summer and give it a big clean. And what I usually do is I just set out a towel like next on my kitchen counter and have like a bowl of warm water and an old toothbrush that's only been used for that.
Yeah. That won't scratch it up?
No, stainless steel, you're fine. Even I would say precious metal, you're fine. I don't use soap. I don't think there's really a need.
Just the water.
Just warm water. Take the bracelet off, go through, kind of just scrub it in between the lugs, scrub there. Yeah, and I do that over the towel, and I think you're good to go. Does that work? Does that answer that question?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just a toothbrush. Got it. All right. The best entry-level chronograph or best chronograph under $2,000?
Best entry-level chronograph. I don't know if these are under $2,000, but the first thing that comes to mind is Speedmaster Automatic. I don't have a specific model number.
I don't, honestly.
I'll do some research after this.
Like the 38s?
No.
The racing?
I think so. Here's where I thought about that. Best you said automatic chronograph?
Best entry-level chronograph
Entry-level
or
chronograph.
best chronograph under $2,000?
So I think automatic chronograph, Omega caliber, I think it's the 3330. It's a fully integrated column wheel chronograph based on, I think it's on the 7750, but it's like a workhorse of a movement, and they put it in a Speedmaster, and I think it's a 40 millimeter Speedmaster, and
The reduced?
no, it's not the reduced.
What the heck? I'm so
Those are
lost.
39, and those are they have the module on top. So I think it's the Omega caliber 3330 has fully integrated chronograph movement, and it has a coaxial escapement. Like that is a killer movement. But I think because the Speedmaster is so such a historical piece, like if it doesn't look like the normal Speedmaster, people don't necessarily like it as much. But I think Omega Speedmaster Racing, it's that. I'll do some research and I'll make sure to put it in the description. But those watches may not be under 2,000, but I think as far as chronographs go, like you have an automatic chronograph movement, like, and it's from Omega, it's a solid movement. Like those watches are great. It's 40 millimeter, like checks a lot of boxes. May not be the quintessential Omega Speedmaster, but full stop, that's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I can't think of a better one. All right.
That was a long-winded answer. We got there.
I mean, they all were.
Yeah.
Let's see. Holes or no holes case for 5-digit references.
Goodness.
All right. That is quite a specific question.
You may have dug deep for that one. So that refers to, for people that are watching, that refers to whether or not there are actual holes in the sides of the lugs on the case, so lug holes. And those existed in the Submariner until about 2003. They went away. I think collectors will say it kind of took away from some of the heritage of the timepiece, where now it's a little bit more dressy because there's not lug holes. I think the best 5-digit Submariner would be a Submariner from like 2000 to 2000 and maybe 2001, 2002, and here's why. And this doesn't apply to the no date, so we're assuming that this is a date Submariner because you get holes, but you get a solid end-link bracelet. So you kind of get rid of some of that rattle, but you still have the pierced lugs, you have the holes in the lugs, so it's kind of like best of both worlds. You get like some of the modern touches of a newer timepiece with the solid end-link bracelet, but for a few years there were still pierced lugs. So that I'm gonna say the 5-digit Submariner is gonna be, I don't know, 2000, probably 2000, 2001 to 2002, 2003 before they closed off those lug holes. So you're looking at probably a P or K serial. 5-digit Submariner. That's my staking my claim on it. Boom.
Cool. That's all we got.
That's all we got?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey guys, that is I'm gonna wrap it up for Nathan answering a bunch of random questions about watches. And hey, we're willing to do this in the future. We'll go through and ask questions in the comments. If you have just the most obscure questions, don't hesitate to ask them about watches. Go ahead and ask them on social media, and we'll do our best to round those up and answer them in another video. So as always, guys, thanks for watching.
Bye.